was it 30 inches of rain over the last 10 days. This ground was saturated, but the track crew, I like to say they stay in front of it. They stay on top of the dirt. They're constantly out there grading it, constantly out there watering it, staying. There's no blue groove that is formed. There was no ruts that really were forming. They stay on top of it between each session of practice out there yesterday.
Well, you know, one thing to have such good track conditions, and then we talk about dust did come in. The reason that is being is because we have over 200 contestants out here that's burning this track up and having a lot of fun. We have a great youth program that's continuing to expand. I've got a buddy of mine. It's his son's first time racing. Pam's son's going to be out here again racing, which he's not small youth. He's getting into the big cars. But there's definitely a lot of fun racing action that's about to happen. If you're watching this right now, feel free to take a moment, hit share this with all the people that you know at home. Get the message out there. Let's spread the love. Let's get it out there so the sport continues to grow and our marketing partners continue to get developed, and we all grow this thing into one giant beast as this thing is just starting to evolve and grow rapidly.
Well, you host, I guess you could say you host the drivers' meetings every week, race weekend, and it's neat when you get up there and you start talking about the entries.
Yes.
Every single weekend, every single drivers' meeting, there's more entries and more entries, and it's like a record is being set every single consecutive race weekend with the number of guys out here racing.
So I may stand corrected. Someone may tell me later, but I believe from the middle of last year, starting in the July race, or maybe it was in August, every race since then, we've continued to set a record with entries, race over race, from the rest of last season all the way into this season. Each round it's continuing to grow, and I don't see any end in sight. I think we're going to continue to get out there and continue this growth, and man, it's just exciting to see where we go with this thing.
And the fact is that there's factory involvement. There's not too many forms of motorsports out there outside of NASCAR that has factory involvement. And
that is true.
And you got these guys, executives from Can-Am, you got the executives from Polaris. They're out here with their they're keeping track.
Yes.
Of how their cars are doing in each class, and that's kind of cool to see. Not other forms of motorsports have this.
No, it's definitely an evolution, and that's what this whole thing was about, was elevating the sport, elevating the individual racers, elevating the companies and the products and the sponsors that get behind this, the manufacturers, putting all that on a platform, getting all these synergies coming in through our different announcers and our different people, and just bringing them together. All righty. We are going to say a prayer to get our day started right now. If everybody please observe silence with us and bow your heads. I'm going to say a prayer for safety today and over this track. Father, we come to you today. We just ask for your blessings and your favor. We are just blessed to be in this moment and in this time and place to be able to live in this country on this Memorial Day weekend as we remember all of our fallen and we remember our servicemen. Lord, we thank you for what they did and the fight that they went through to be able to allow us these opportunities and these freedoms. Lord, we hope that each racer that's here today races to the best of their ability with good sportsmanship, that you show favor and safety over them all throughout the day. For all the fans and the spectators that's here in this park and everyone watching at home and everyone we come in contact with, continue to bless, Lord, and just watch over and protect everyone. We ask all this in your name. Amen. All right, guys. I think we always start this thing with a good safety prayer, and I feel like it's always been in our favor, so I'm excited to see some wild action today. So, Scott, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing as we go through some of these classes, and do you know what is going to be your favorite thing that you're looking forward to seeing today?
My favorite, my favorite thing I'd have to say be the 170s.
The 170s?
Me being an older, getting there up in age, I like to look at the future.
Yes.
And the future of this sport. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of brought it up and touched on it. I believe the 170 class is the largest class of the entire weekend. That tells me one thing. The future of this sport is in very, very good hands.
Yes, it is. And the thing about those kids is, Billy said it last night. We had a drivers' meeting that was just for the drivers. Of course, you didn't see that at home, but I'll tell you a little bit about what was going on in that meeting. There were so many kids that's starting to get in this thing. He's going to have to consider how he's going to break these things down because staging is so big now. The lineup is so big. We're going to have to consider class categories, age categories. There's a lot of things that's coming into play. So if you're interested in getting involved in that 170 program,
you
just
better do it now.
You better get in there. We've got a lot of cool things that's happening there. And the awesome thing is when we go out and we work with these great companies that sponsor this part and partner with us marketing-wise, they're excited about the future of the 170s because everybody can agree it's just the most heartwarming, just watching those kids, just the smiles on their faces and them being able to be outdoors and experience something that's maybe not behind a screen, which is different for today's children.
Oh, yeah.
They're out here living life. They're out here, the adrenaline's pumping. And we're talking about 7, 8 years old. 7, 8 years old.
7 years old.
Man, at 7 years old, a plastic sword banging against a tree, middle of the woods somewhere. I mean, I don't know, falling out of trees, breaking my arm,
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
Well, and
You know?
I can't talk, so but even the 1,000 class. So we have the youth 1,000 class also. That these kids that have been in these 7 and 8 year old classes, they are now stepping up into the 1,000s already.
Yeah, that's just as exciting as the evolution of the kids that's been with us the first couple years. They started in maybe a stock, then they went limited, then they went full-blown modified, then they're getting taller, they're getting bigger, they're getting stronger, they're moving into the next category of these manufacturers' machines, coming out of a Polaris 170 and moving into a Polaris 1000. And then you've got this evolution that's happening. So we're literally watching these kids grow up and go through the ranks. Then they're going to go in as amateur, then they're going to go expert, and then we'll see some of these kids will go all the way to pro. And that's the dream.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to get to watch that come full circle, and it's really cool.
Well, as we finish this up real quick, your thought in hand, we're going to take a quick break, step aside for just a moment, talk to some of our sponsors. We'll be right back with some more informative information here at Mid-America Outdoors.
Stay tuned.
Breaking in our belts used to be such a pain in the butt.
No matter how hard we tried, we just couldn't get longer life out of our belts.
That's why we were so excited when we found these new Gates Redline belts. They have a super simple 3-step process for breaking in your belt the right way.
No matter how hard we tried, we just couldn't get longer life out of our belts.
That's why we were so excited when we found these new Gates Redline belts. They have a super simple 3-step process for breaking in your belt the right way. Clean the sheaths with a Scotch-Brite pad. Remove any old belt residue, glazing, oil, or debris on the clutch sheath area with alcohol or acetone, and make sure the breather tubes are free of any old belt material. Step 2, install your new Gates Redline belt. Step 3, perform 2 10 to 15 minute heat cycles, giving it easy throttle on flat ground. Then, you're going to repeat for the second heat cycle.
The best part, the process is so simple and easy, it really helped us with our competitiveness.
Yep.
no matter what, it's never an easy event, and it never will be, and that's what makes King of the Hammers King of the Hammers. Tire choice is everything. I mean, to have a tire that's reliable and consistent and drives well out in the desert, but yet when we get to these crazy rock sections, still has grip and performs, and we can hit these sharp, jagged edge rocks and not have a problem, is what we need. And the Rockzillas definitely are second to none when it comes to the UTV tires. And it just speaks traction. It's got big lugs hanging off the side. It's got big lugs down the side of the sidewall of the tire. If you're gonna look for something that makes traction and is gonna grip in rocks and dirt and everything, you look at a Rockzilla and go, man, that thing looks like it's gonna do the job right there.
All right, welcome back to Mid-America Outdoors for round 3 of the Side-by-Side Championship Series. I'm Pam Hall, along with Scott Rain. We had Joey up here doing the prayer and chit-chatting with you earlier. The weather is changing a little right now.
I don't want anyone to be discouraged.
And we are live racing.
First race is off the line, right away going to turn number 1.
This is our Expert Turbo class. They are going to be doing 5 laps, and right now what they're doing is they're going to be starting in rows like we normally do. We do have a different scoring, so you're going to see them as they come across the line today, even though they are starting in different rows. But we have Harley Holland out there, Rusty Pipes, Jeremy Farmer, Matt Hecker, Peyton Matt, Eric Vaughn, Grant Stephen, Justin Baroob, Kendra Hoop, Ian Lane, Mickey Schroeder, Donovan Willis, Austin Braden, Christopher Welch, Christopher Smith, Austin Dinger, Jonas Fisher, and Caleb Edmonds. So we have 18 cars that will be out on course this morning.
Well, you touched on it. Keep in mind, this is a little different than what we've been doing in the past as far as how they're being scored. They're going off in waves, just like in the past.
Yes.
But the thing is, it's all going to be an adjusted time. So we're not going to know who has the fastest time out there until the last car crosses the line.
Exactly.
And as soon as they took the green flag, Lauren Healy checked in.
Awesome. Welcome, Lauren. You need to be out here racing with us. I know you got a busy schedule, though. But, yes, we have the second wave is off the line right now, but we do have 18 cars in total that will be going off. And I heard you and Joey talking about the manufacturers that do come out here. Right now in this race, we will have Can-Ams out there, Razors, and we do have some Yamahas out there. So, and this again is our Expert Turbo class, and they will be doing 5 laps. And here momentarily we will know, I believe it's Peyton Matt in that number 1 position on course right now. We'll get that number here momentarily.
Now, we've also added on 2 more timing loops out on the race course.
Yes, there's a total of 4. Yes.
Total of 4. Obviously, one is at the start-finish line. As they cross the line, we'll try to describe where they're at, but there's 4 timing loops, which will give us more accurate time. We're able to tell you the gaps in time now between each car as they cross those loops all throughout the race course.
Exactly. It's pretty cool to have that out there on race course for everything to update. And they are right now, the leaders that came across so far did go through the, I'm not sure what we call that because the second turn is a Talladega. So off the start line, we do have that hairpin that they do go through every single lap. But that is such an exciting corner for them to begin this race on every time.
The
elevation change is amazing.
They off the starting line, they probably drop down maybe 20 feet in elevation and then shoot up probably about 120 feet to the top of that 180 and then come right back down 180 feet.
Exactly.
Into a tight right-hander. So, yeah, it's a challenging first 200 yards of the race.
Yes. I mean, we see lots of action always in that turn as well. All right, so we do have the Expert Turbo again out on course right now. Looks like Mickey Schroeder is running the fastest time right now with a 2:03.719, and Harley Holland is in that number 2 position with a 2:06.295. But again, you know, they have 5 laps of this, so they have, you know, a lot of chance to make up their lap time because it is going by fastest lap for their qualifying.
Almost like a Formula One style of qualifying.
Exactly.
You know, they're all out there running. You got to hope for clean track in front of you.
Yes.
Nobody in front, so you can run a pace that's That's all yours. You're not being hampered by traffic in front of you. So this is very, very much like Formula One qualifying.
And Mickey Schroeder in the 4.44 in a Can-Am is still out there running the fastest lap right now, like I said, with a 2:03.719. Running the second fastest is Harley Holland in a 14H. He's also in a Can-Am. He's running a 2:06.295, so about 3 seconds difference between the first and second place right now.
I can't help but think that...
Harley Holland just took over the position. I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you. What did you say?
Actually, it just popped up. No, here's the thing. I want people to check in all the time. Let us know where you're watching us from, who you're cheering for. If you have any questions, shoot out the questions. Pam and I will do our best to answer everything that we can for you.
Exactly. And it's fun. It's fun to see where you're coming from, where you're watching from, who you're rooting for.
Becky Ewing checked in.
Yes.
She's watching her baby's race from home.
Yeah, Tillman. I saw Tillman last night at the driver's meeting. He's in his brand new car this weekend, so that's super exciting for him. But on race course right now, you can see they are getting ready to. They're going right now. That is the rhythm section that they are going through, and they have a tight left turn here. Then they're going to be entering into the backside of the race course, which right there where they're going up, that is also it's kind of like I'm not sure how to explain that jump, but when you're coming up on it, it's blind on the other side.
Yeah,
so
you have to be set up. You actually have to fly through the air sideways and pitch it sideways for that left-hander to be able to make it.
Exactly. Exactly. Great drone footage right there. The drones do such an amazing job of making sure they're capturing all the action up there on the race course. And they're getting ready to go onto that right there you're seeing on camera, that is the rhythm section that we were just speaking about. But we do have people that are on the back section where we do have an 80-foot tabletop jump. And that was what we were talking about yesterday, where people, they can launch off of that, and it is super cool jump. And if they they have to make sure they land that perfectly, because we have seen people overshoot it and flat land it. It's not a comfortable landing for them.
The track is in almost perfect conditions, all things considered. If you see some of the shots there where it looks like they're standing water, it's shiny.
Right.
It's not as bad as it looks on camera. The track is almost in pristine condition.
Exactly.
These guys are putting in some much better lap times than they were yesterday during practice.
Right. Now, practice was fun to watch. Sat here and watched it yesterday, did some filming, did some little social media stuff. I just saw the 81 of Ian Lane go by. Right now, it looks like we have Mickey Schroeder in that number 1 position, Harley Holland in number 2, Rusty Pipes in 3rd, Kendra Hoop in 4th. And it just keeps switching around because of all the timing loops on there. But yeah, Mickey Schroeder has been up there in that number 1 spot pretty much the whole entire time.
Yeah, and he's got the field covered right now so far, by 2 seconds it looks like?
Yeah, and on screen that was just Harley Holland, the number 14 in his Can-Am. And right there, that is the Talladega turn that you are seeing. Now, the 170s, they do bypass that Talladega turn. They just do not have the horsepower to go up there. So later on, you will see that you'll see them bypass that. But that on screen right there was Ian Lane, I believe, do a little bit of a spin out just now.
The track is actually really tacky right now. The track conditions you're going to have all day long. This is probably going to be where the mud sticks to the chassis and the parts of the race car more than any time else.
Yes.
So when these guys pull off the track and go back to the pits, they're going to have no problem making weight if they scale these cars, because they're probably going to be about 200-300 pounds heavier than when they started.
Exactly. And that is the race line jump just now that you saw on screen. That is a jump that a lot of people yesterday were trying to figure out how hard they could push it to make sure they were landing perfectly on the other side of it. And that is Harley Holland you see on screen. He is on the back.
White flag is out, actually. I'm sorry, Pam. Yeah, white flag is out right now. We got I happen to notice we got a lot of veterans walking around this weekend already.
We do.
We got a couple of local chapters of the VFW, and they're here as well. We might have a real special opening ceremonies tomorrow morning with their involvement, so we hope we're able to pull that off. But yeah, it's really neat to see some of these guys walking around in wearing their colors.
Yes, I was noticing that this morning as well. Always make sure you thank any servicemen for sure, whether they're veterans or they're still active. I always make sure to show them my appreciation. The white flag is there. Mickey Schroeder still in that number 1 position with Austin Braden in that number 2 position. Harley Holland in 3rd. Austin Dinger 4th and Kendra Hoop in that 5th position. And of course, this can change at any moment. It depends on how hard they push their lap. A little battle going on right there. I believe that is Ian Lane. I'm not sure who they're battling with. They're coming around the last turn before the checkered flag.
Now keep in mind, we're not going to know who had the fastest lap time until the very last car crossed
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
line.
They actually went up onto the Talladega turn. That was totally my bad. So we do have 3 cars that have not, we have Caleb Edmonds, Peyton Matt, and Donovan Willis. It looks like they might have had some issues out on race course. But out of the 18 drivers, we do have 15 of them that have completed all of the laps almost. They're almost over with the race. They have the white flag coming around to that checkered. Harley Holland has taken over that number 1 position as of right now. And that is Ian Lane you see on screen. He is on the backside of the race course getting ready to go over that 80-foot tabletop jump. Next race that is actually up headed onto the line is the amateur turbo class. So they're already all lined up getting ready to take off. But right now let's talk about the expert turbo. We have in that number 1 position Mickey Schroeder, 2nd position Austin Braden, 3rd position Harley Holland, 4th Austin Dinger, Kendra Hoop in that number 5 position, Grant Stevens 6th, Rusty Pipes in 7th, Matt Hecker in 8th, Justin Barube in 5th. I'm sorry, in 9th. Let me rephrase that. He's in 10th. Eric Vaughn in that 11th position, Jeremy Farmer 12th. And we'll post these results up. You guys can actually go and watch the live timing yourself if you are at home at mao.livemotorsports.com. That's how you can watch the live timing as we see it here. Keep up with your favorite drivers.
What was that again?
It is mao.livemotorsports.com.
MAO.
And on the line, you can see the amateur turbo class. We do have 9 vehicles that will be in this race. We have Jacob Mangus in the 613, Michael Green in the 121. In that 2nd position, Sean Murphy, 39 in that 3rd. Aaron Holden, number 28 in 4th. Justin Moore in a number 82. Number 6 car, Morgan Vanover. The 321 of Hank Hall. 41 of Lee Knowles. And the 93 of Kyle Arknew. Great information. I spoke with Kyle yesterday. We all know the Indianapolis 500 is going on this weekend as well. He has gone for 18 years to the Indianapolis 500, and he bypassed it to come out here and race at Mid-America this weekend. And so his family is all at the Indianapolis 500, and here he is at Mid-America racing in his class, having a blast. He'll be doing the pit bike racing later on this evening. But he was wanting to make sure that we say hi to his dad. His dad is out at the Indianapolis 500, but it's pretty cool to see that he chose to come here and race instead of going to the Indy 500.
Just to recap real quick, our top 5, because that's very important when it comes to placing for or picking starting spots
right
for the main event. Our top 5, Kendra Hoop is in that 5th spot, Austin Dinger. Fourth, Harlan Holland in third. Second is Austin Braden. I talked to him yesterday morning. He wasn't all. He was kidding around, but he was having fun. I just don't think I'm that fast. He kept saying that. I'm one of the slow guys. He kept going on.
Yeah, but you
and
think
on.
you're slow, but then when you're slow, smooth is fast. So.
Yeah. He wasn't that far out of the top spot either. He was like less than 1/10 or actually 2/10 of a second out of the top spot. So good job for him coming around in second.
Yeah, and we have 9 cars getting ready to take the green flag here in our race number 2, our Moto number 2, our amateur turbo class.
What a great shot everyone is seeing right now of our starting line. How beautiful is that? Remember we started out the season, the trees were all like, the leaves weren't, it was all bare branches and everything like that. And now it's just, we're in the middle of the woods.
Yes, exactly.
That's absolutely gorgeous.
Jay Shaw is asking when the Pro Turbos are up. The Pro Turbo is the last class of the day. So stick around and keep watching the live show, and you'll get to see them as soon as they're up towards the end of the day.
So again, it looks like there'll be 2 what I like to call waves coming off the line. The front row you see right now that's underneath the gate, they will start by themselves.
And there they are,
and
off the line. And you can see it's a little bit of a they either watered it right there just now between classes because they're trying to keep that dust down, because we saw yesterday there was lots of dust, but they just went up through that first hairpin turn. As you can see on screen, they come down, they do a little bit of a small tabletop going into a Talladega turn is what we have named that name, or that turn right there. And there is an awesome shot. You can see right there how the second class, they are coming up into the hairpin right now. They'll go down. You can't really see how big that tabletop is down there at the bottom between the turns, but then they go and they make that right-hand turn up into the Talladega.
So I got to ask you, you have a special, you're kind of watching this race closer than probably the rest of them the entire day.
Oh, I watch all of them.
Oh, but
they're all the same.
There's a special, no, there's one out there right now. You got your young boy out there.
Yes,
Hank
he's out there.
He's
in a different car this weekend, but yeah, he'll be debuting his brand new car out here Labor Day weekend. That's actually him right there on screen. He in Truett Racing in RS1 in the turbo class. So he's actually in a non-aspirated car in the turbo class, because you can do that. You cannot race a turbo in a NA class, but you can race an NA in the turbo class.
I don't want to call it this, but it's kind of what it is. You can step up,
right?
But you can't step back.
Exactly. And look at the nice battle going on right there. I believe that might have been Lee Knowles and Jacob Mangus, but that is an awesome battle going on. That was the rhythm section. Oh, and there's the 19 of Hank Hall's spun out. It's a little bit muddy out there.
Still getting used to the car. Right now, going into the second sector right now, Jacob Mangus has the quickest lap.
Oh, and Lee Knowles, it just switched up. Lee Knowles has the fastest time on the next timing loop.
Through the first sector, yeah.
Yes. And you can see on screen, they are going by us, behind us right now, going into the start-finish line with Jacob Mangus in that number 1 position, Sean Murphy in that second position, Michael Green third, and Aaron Holden in that 4th position coming through start-finish just now.
No, you could be 4th on the track right now, 4th on track, but still have the fastest lap time.
Right, exactly.
Going. So I want to keep reminding everybody, this is all being done by time.
So that is the 613 of Jacob Mangus and Sean Murphy that have been going side by side through these corners. Looks like we have a yellow flag out over there right before the rhythm section.
They're a little bit of a dog leg type right-hander into a left-hander, and it looks like right rear suspension might be an issue.
And on screen, that is the 41 of Lee Knowles. Lee Knowles just did this small tabletop before he goes into the Talladega turn.
In fact, Lee Knowles just took the top time for lap number 1. So he's, wow, almost 2 full seconds over Jacob Mangus. Yeah.
2:10.459.
Sean Murphy has taken the top spot.
Yeah, they keep going back and forth, it seems like. And they're right now on screen, they are going through that little step up on the back section. There's some tricky turns back there. So you have that step up that you have to make sure you're set up for before you go it. And then there's another one that they're doing kind of like a right-hand turn. You can take either the inside or the outside lane. Some of them take the outside lane because they want to use the bank as helping them through the turn, which you can see they're on that section right now. They just did the little hill, as I call it, before they go into the tabletops. And that's the back section right now. That is Mr. Lee Knowles on screen. And he will be going into that little area that I was talking about just now, where you can either use the right-hand lane and use that bank, or in the inside line. If you take that inside line, you can kind of jump it, but you have to make sure you're set up for it, because if you're not set up perfectly, it will throw you off.
Yeah, it's the driving style. Some guys like to hang it out, kind of just pitch it real hard into the corners.
Yeah.
Some guys like to brake real early and accelerate real early coming out of the corner. So
right.
It's just a matter of different driving styles.
And he's getting ready to do that left-hand turn right into the race line jump is what he'll be going over before he comes through start-finish again.
So Sean Murphy still has the quickest time out there as they enter complete lap number 2. Aaron Holden now is the second quick, along with Jacob Mangus now dropping down to third. Michael Green.
It just keeps switching around.
Lee Knowles has jumped up, yeah. Well, we got to keep track of that, because that's what makes this exciting, is how these guys just bounce back and forth.
Right, exactly. So in the top 5 positions right now, you do have Lee Knowles in that number 1 position, Sean Murphy number 2, Aaron Holden in 3rd, and Kyle Arknow in the 4th position, Jacob Mangus 5th. So they're all out on 3 laps. Now remember, they are all doing 5 laps today in their heat races, and they will all be doing 5 laps tomorrow as well in the main events.
I'm telling you, I just kind of checked out Hank's lap times. How's this for consistency? 218.627, 218.628, lap 1 and 2.
Consistent.
Are you kidding me? Wow, 1/1000th of a second?
He's in an NA. He's in a RS1 out there.
Well, I'm not really talking about the speed aspect of it, just the consistency of being so, I mean, they're basically identical laps.
Well, and that's something that, I always try to talk to drivers about, when I'm talking to them, people that end up on the podium and stuff. The being consistent can win you a race. I mean, just consistency is a key, whether you're the fastest person on course or slowest person, but just being consistent in general definitely helps you progress or know what you should not do. But we do have in that number 1 position Sean Murphy, Lee Knowles number 2, Carl Arknow 3rd, Jacob Mangus 4th, and Michael Green 5th, and it just all switched up again. So it's.
And the thing is, this is going to change after each sector.
Right.
Not just laps.
Right.
And again, this lap is divided into 4 different sectors according to the time loops.
They do have one timing loop, obviously, at start finish. There's another one out over by the rhythm section, I believe. Then there's another one over by the tabletop. And then over here by the race line jump, there's one right before that.
Well, after lap number 3, Sean Murphy has a top spot. Michael Green, Jacob Mangus. Now, Mangus led for a while, had the fastest lap for a while, then dropped down to 5th. Now he's up to 3rd. Just watch these guys bounce around like that.
Yes.
It's so
it's like
cool
a ping pong ball. But you can see right now on screen, that is another awesome drone footage that gets you, can show you both areas of that hairpin turn going into the Talladega turn. The drone shots, you just cannot get anything better than that. You can see the yellow card down there in the bottom screen. That was also going into the start-finish line. And that going into the rhythm section. And there's on-screen start-finish.
Well, Fred Shipley's checked in,
Yes.
and he says, what happened to number 82? And I'm looking down here. He's completed only 1 lap out of the 3 that have been run so far.
Actually, he's only completed, the number 82 has only done a 1/3 of a lap.
Well, yeah.
So on screen right there, that's a great shot that shows you the rhythm section on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, that's where they're coming down into the tabletops. Great shots by our camera guys. That jump on the left-hand side the car just went through, that's the one that I was talking about. You can either use the bank or the inside line for. But again, at home, if you want to watch the live timing as we are watching it, just go to mao.livemotorsports.com. where you can watch all of the live timing as we see it here. That's a whole great overview of the whole entire western side of the track. And that is the race line jump right there. That jump right there is another one that you have to know how to jump over it, because if you go launching off of it too hard, I mean, you're going to flat land on the other side.
There's a lot of gas pedal, brake pedal playing with that. Some guys like to do it differently. Some guys like to just tap the brake right at the base of the takeoff and then nail the throttle. It gets that front end up in the air.
Right.
Some guys like to just nail it and get that front end up, but then they have to tap the brake to bring the front end back down.
Exactly.
Just tons of manipulation in the air.
So we have Sean Murphy in that number 1 position. He's out on his 5th lap. Michael Green now he's in the 3rd position. Lee Knowles has taken back over that number 1 position, and we are on getting the white flag as we speak right now.
Yeah, how about Kyle Arknose jumped into the top 5 for the first time, running 2nd in lap again. This is just in time.
And on screen, that is the 81. All right, let's see here. I didn't think the mud was going to be a factor on the numbers of the cars, but obviously it is. That's the back of the race course right there, that first step up that they are entering after the rhythm section. And here we are going into the rhythm section right now. It's a rhythm section, but we call it a non-rhythm section.
Yeah.
Because you can't jump, 2 of them, and you have to, that's why practice makes perfect.
Double.
Right.
You have to single, then a triple.
Looks like this one has a flat tire.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, right front. That's not the tire you want to go down, especially when this course has mostly left-hand turns.
Very, very true. That's Lee Knowles that you can see on screen right there, and they're entering the backside of the race course.
Kyle Whitney just checked in and says, what drone setup are they using for the video? That's technically above my knowledge, but I'll try to find out for you, Kyle, so I'll get back to you on that.
I believe they're FPV drones. I don't know if that means anything. Okay, so sounds like we have a DJI Mavic out there on course, and then 2 FPV drones. Oh, it looks like somebody is slowing up right there on the right-hand side of the screen going into the rhythm section. But I did see Lee Knowles and Kyle Arknow. They were kind of neck and neck. They'll be coming in right now, actually behind us, coming in and getting that checkered flag.
So we have 3 cars across the line. We won't give away what the placements are so far because we have a few cars to finish the race. But right now, Lee Knowles has the top spot, and not by a whole lot.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
definitely.
You got a pretty good little racer there on your hands, Pam. He's consistent laps, all 5 laps, very, very consistent.
Consistency is the key. So after the rhythm section.
There's a car slowing off the gate, pulling to the outside. Looks like it's Can-Am.
It's a muddy race car. Not quite sure the number on that car.
Basically just going at idle speed.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Let's see if we can pick up who it is. Oh, just shy.
Looks like the 28 of Aaron Holden. Not sure what happened, but that is Aaron. Obviously all good because he was just cruising.
Well,
unfortunate.
Dropped the window net, kicked the door open, and it looks like he only completed, 2 laps, just a little bit more than 2 laps. So he's had issues the entire time he was out there.
Yes, for sure. That was the complete of our amateur turbo class.
And we weren't able to run down the top 5 real quick, but
we'll get back to that. There's a way we can go back to it. I'll show you. But next up off the line is going to be our 170 limited class. The 9 through 12 age group. Looks like we are going to have 13 tiny tots, as I call them, out on race course.
Okay, we got 170s, but will they go all 13 in one line?
Well, it's not 13 per line; it's 8 per line. But,
they'll
probably
the big cars. But how?
But we do have. It'll be the number 71 of Kennedy Singleton, the number 707 of Sophia Hill, 56 of Avery Sides, the 06 of Tealman Ewing, the 3C of Case Beeman.
And then we have the 37 of Damian Shamblin, 228 of Paxton Yoshimoto. Connor Stowers is out there in the 112 along with Michael Green in the 75. Starting that 10th spot will be Anson Caraway in the 18, the 57 of Caden Graham. B.A. Smith is in the 52, and Miyakoto in the 91. And we just to remind everybody that they're running on an abbreviated track, so they're not running the full lap like we just watched the last 2 races. The kids will be out there. They're probably doing 1/3 of the lap as what we've seen the last 2 races. So not quite as long for the kids. You know, Pam, some of the companies behind the scenes that have really brought Mid-America Short Course to the forefront, we got to talk about them a few times throughout the day, with no doubt. The Side-by-Side Championship Series would like to thank the Oklahoma Ford dealers as well as the Evolution Power Sports, Fuel Works, as well as Gates G-Force Belts, the High Lifter Company, HMF Racing, Maxxis Tire, who's got the full contingent out here. Beautiful, huge rig. If you like the color orange, you're going to have to stop by and see the guys from Maxxis Tire. Also, Moto Race Tire, they're here as well, along with Nitto, Polaris Race Wheels. They've got great representation
Raceline Wheels, yeah. He's actually right over there watching the races.
Yep. Rigid Industries, as well as Rugged Race Radios, are a huge supporter of Mid-America Outdoors. Super ATV, the Off-Road Syndicate, Texas Motorworks, Ultimax Belts, and you're going to see a whole lot of 360 wraps
there are a
logos
lot
running
of them.
around here this
you'll
weekend.
You'll see race trailers, full
race
trailers wrapped in 360 race wraps. On screen right there, we do see the 170s 9 through 12 class, and you can see the parents. You know, what is it you always say? There's a race for the parents as well, right after the kids take off the line.
They allow the parents or their dads basically to come out onto the course inside of one of the turns.
Yes.
To be able to see what's going on.
Yes.
So once the second wave of cars goes, you're going to see a group of side-by-sides and little pit bikes and parents running to that location.
I've been there. I know how it feels. But as I was speaking earlier, see, they are bypassing the Talladega turn. These cars just don't have the horsepower to get up that turn, but they do shorten up the track for the 170s. As they cut across, they also don't even go through the rhythm section as well. You can see they're crossing over a bridge right there on screen. But they do go over that 80-foot tabletop where they're at right now, and they come around this left-hand sweeper. There's a little tiny jump there for them, and then they go over the race line jump before they come back into start-finish. But it looks like Kennedy Singleton has that got to that first marker in that first position right now. Case Beeman second, Damian Shamblin in that third. Avery Sides fourth, Paxton Yoshimoto fifth. Tealman Ewing in that brand new Hyson car for him. They were super excited about debuting that this weekend.
Oh, we got a little
bit of rain, yeah. That was the number 71 of Kennedy Singleton. I'm not sure what the second car was. Side by side. They are side by side going over that little bit of a tabletop jump here. I believe that is the number 3C of Case Beeman. So that'll be Case Beeman and Kennedy Singleton that are in the 1 and 2 spots on course physically, but it's all about time, not physical position.
So this is again on adjusted time. Sophia Hill has got the top. B.A. Smith is just up to the top spot. Sophia Hill drops a second. But as soon as we say all this with being multiple timing loops,
it changes. It depends on where they're at on race course. But that is Anson Caraway right there on screen. Oh, no, a little flip-flop. Hopefully he landed on all 4 wheels and just kept going. That is
You can attest
You're good
to this.
to go, you go.
Pam, you can attest to this. You're a parent. You're the mother of a racer out there. They are safer in these 170s, belted in
Right.
with the Hans device and the head and neck restraint, the helmets, the gloves. They're fireproof from head to toe.
Right.
Everything is covered. They're safer out there in this than they are in Pee Wee
But look,
football.
that Anson Caraway just rolled his car, landed on all four wheels, didn't skip a beat, just got going again, and it looks like he's just fine. Now his dad has normally been out here racing. He actually is not. He wants to enjoy his kids racing, so he is not out here racing this weekend.
So it looks like Kimberly Smith is checked in. Go Avery sides. Marky Hutchison goes, woohoo, Avery, gas on. You started out first. Grana's rooting for you. So thank you for checking in, Marky and Kimberly.
And on screen still is Anson Caraway. Looks like he is slowing up, though, right before the start finish. Not sure what happened. Oh, it looks like a broken chain. Looks like that could possibly be a broken chain right there hanging off the back side of it.
Yeah.
And there's Dad right there coming out. That's Kobe Caraway. That's unfortunate because he was doing so good after doing his roll. And he is right there at that start-finish line. That was Kennedy Singleton that just went by on screen. So right now in our positions, we have Case Beeman in that number 1 position, Kennedy Singleton 2, Damian Shamblin in 3rd, Avery Sides 4th, and Paxton Yoshimoto in that 5th position. But we have Case Beeman and Kennedy Singleton. Well, they're all crossing the line right now, going through, getting that white flag here shortly. But they do have 5 laps as well.
They're running 5 laps, yeah. They're just completing lap number 3 right now. As we have, like you said, initially 13 cars out on the course.
Tillman Ewing's doing good out there in that number 6 position right now in his brand new car.
You gotta like when you see a new manufacturer come in and somebody's trying it. Everybody's out there basically on Polaris's, but when you have somebody like the Ewings want to try something different,
right?
That's really neat to see.
Yeah, Tillman's got quite the backing too. He has Jamie McCoy backing him and a bunch of other sponsors as well. Him and his sister. His sister will be out here racing herself. I don't know where the sun went, but I wish it would come back out.
Well, we don't expect to see it until probably about 11:30
tomorrow.
or so. Yeah, tomorrow. I mean, when I looked
love
at it
the
last
weather
night,
here, though.
it was supposed to be like 84, 85 today and sunny.
Yeah.
And then this morning I looked at it and it said thunderstorms right around 11ish. I don't.
Oh,
think
we have
that's
another rollover on screen right there. That is in the corner here, right here behind us. Not sure of who it was.
Now, we should mention you see a lot of guys running out onto the race course and helping some of these kids. Here's the thing. We got trained track officials out there, and I mean trained. They've gone through the process of what to do, the proper way to do certain
That is Kobe Caraway
things.
again. Or
And,
not Kobe Caraway. That is Anson Caraway. He just did another rollover. That's when you know they're
Back
pushing their
underway.
limits. They're pushing the limits.
Well, even as young
racing,
kids,
they're
you got to find the
learning.
line. You
They're
got to
learning.
find where that line is, yeah.
Exactly.
But like I started to say,
Exactly.
that the track crews out there, they're the first ones there. First, make sure the kids are okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, make sure the car's okay, and then they get up on all fours and if they can go underway, they get them shoved off and off they go.
You know, safety first, and our track crew is amazing. They are right there every single time. As we saw yesterday in practice, there were a lot of people pushing their limits, trying to find out, you know, what their lines should be on race course, and there was a lot of people out there pushing it a little too hard yesterday. But
Hey, I don't know if you noticed it in practice yesterday. Again, just like last round, tires.
Tires, yes.
Flat tires.
That was an
This
issue.
course was it is so abrasive with lots of rocks.
That's a great drone shot right there of the race line jump, and then right there in the background you can see all the vehicles of the parents and the people that are here watching these little tykes out here. But we have Case Beeman in that number 1 position, Kennedy Singleton 2, Avery Sides 3rd, Damian Shamblin 5th, Paxton Yoshimoto in that 5th position. That is right now until all the cars cross the line. That is our top 5 for our 170 9 through 12 limited class.
So I'm really anxious to see if we got any more shuffling going on, as we still have probably, what, 6 cars to finish?
Looks like Tillman just came in that number 7 position. But, yeah, there was a little – Miyakato came in and moved Damian Shamblin down in that number 5 position from the 4th position. Lots of action out there on the race course just now with the 179 through 12 class.
So like you said, Tillman Ewing crosses the line in that 7th spot. Connor Stowers, 8th. Sophia Hill, 9th. We still have, 4 cars to come across. Anson Caraway's only completed 2 laps.
That was Anson who did that little rollover.
So Michael Green comes across in the top 10. Sophia Hill will be 11th. And Caden Graham, who had an issue earlier as well, looked like we'll be coming across the line at 12th. And that'll take care of our 170s.
All right, next off the line will be the 170 limited class, the 6 through 8 age group. And we will have 15 of them on the track today. So we will have the 111 of Easton Helms, 47Y of Maggie Flores, the 113 of Bear Medlin, 63 of Cody St. Peter. Look, I'm sorry, Code St. Peter. Sorry, Dad, you're giving me a hard time about it. The 21 of Tanner Thompson, the 22 of Caden Vanover, 7 of Jace Beziski, 11 of Luke Anderson, the 44 of Tucker Berza, and the 402 of Hudson Wilson.
And the 86 will be starting 11th. Will be Harper Willis. Bentley Fagan will start 12th in the 135. Blaine Singleton will start 13th at 98. Starting 14th will be another, Heisen? Heisen. Another Heisen will be starting with Slade Dowden behind the wheel in number 8. And Camden Ledbetter and the Polaris will be starting 15th in the 356. This might be 3 waves, 15 cars?
It more than likely will be. I'm not sure. We can see on screen right there how he has it set up there.
So we have
1, 2, and then there you have it on the other side. So
it might be 2 waves.
4.
Well, where are they? Looks like they're starting actually in front of the gates.
You know, they don't, some people too don't run, well, that's usually in practice, but I was thinking some people don't run the heat race, but why would you not? I don't think you would bypass the heat race, actually.
You know, Pam, while we got a moment, I want to look to the other side of the track, and something that's brand new here at Mid-America Outdoors is Old Glory. The brand new flag setup, brand new pole, brand new flag. We raised it last night, right before our roundtable broadcast, and raised it right to the very top, and then dropped it right back down to half-mast in honor of Memorial Day weekend and our fallen veterans that never made it home from the war front that they were participating in, and also what just took place a week or so ago in Texas with all those young souls. So as we look across there, I can't help but think of that every single time I see that flag.
Beautiful.
It's just unbelievable, especially when it's lit up at night.
Right.
The lights that were on it last night.
Speaking of last night, they had a poker run last night.
Yeah, how was that?
I did not go on it, honestly. My family's here, and we all went and ate. Well, I didn't even film, but we had dinner, and then I ended up because we have a long weekend of talking up here, so went to bed a little early last night. But I saw, watching the social media of everything, it looked like it was a really good time. I have to say, I think I missed out.
Yeah. I had I had nightmares. Not really, but kind of. The first weekend we were here, remember how I got lost in the dark down here?
Yes.
Not knowing where I was going? I had that visions all over again, because you're out here in the dark. Yeah, you got lights on your TV and all that kind of stuff, but I couldn't get the lights to work, and I was out here in the dark, and I didn't want that to happen again.
Well, we definitely...
So I was like you. I was back in the cabin watching it on the social media.
Yeah, it was really cool to watch on social media and everything. If you guys are not following all the social medias, you guys need to, because between the Instagram and Facebook, there's sometimes more information on one or the other, but they're very interesting to watch and follow along and everything else. I'm getting some warm clothes brought to me. I'm so sorry. I'm a little distracted. It's a little chilly up here.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I don't know if the pool's going to be very busy today.
I wonder
but
who the weather person is.
The lazy river. I haven't gone up there and visited the lazy river yet.
I walked by there yesterday, and there was so many people up there, and it was adults, it was families, it was adults, it was kids.
Well, because they don't only have the lazy river, they have the splash pad for the tiny tots. So it's really cool.
And right
the whole
across
place.
There's 3 or 4 food trucks that are right
Oh, have
there
you
as
had the
well.
taco truck?
No.
The churros
No.
are amazing. I mean, the tacos are too, but the churros, that's a nice dessert. I actually was over there. That's where we ate last night, was at the taco truck, and Paul Wolf and his family were all over there. And Christy, we were talking, and she's like, I want that to be like my wedding food truck, because their food is so good. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Paul Wolf, I mean, he's out here. I'm not sure if he's actually doing the turbo class or what's going on, but he'll be doing the hill climb later on in his 4400 car.
Yeah, we were all sitting. He was part of the roundtable last night.
Yes,
told us about
yes.
it, and it's like there's gonna be a lot of people tuning in. I can't help but think they'll watch that.
It's
that
gonna
in itself.
I can't wait to watch it. That's definitely one place I will be tonight.
If he does well, do you think that might bring out some of the other 4,400 guys?
I don't know. I mean, we have a race in 2 weeks. We have an Ultra 4 race in 2 weeks in Tennessee. So he preps his cars himself. But we have next class up is the 170 6 to 8. We just went through the lineup for that. And we are just making sure everything's all clear and safe.
Well, we have a little break in the action. We still have our 170s lining up at the staging lane. Let's take a step aside real quick and a few words from our sponsors. We'll be right back with more racing action from right here at Mid-America Outdoors.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
Your usual, sir?
Please. The sound of a 1000cc turbo engine cranking at 8,000 RPMs just got better. HMF, the official sound of the off-road.
No matter what, it's never an easy event, and it never will be, and that's what makes King of the Hammers King of the Hammers. Tire choice is everything. I mean, to have a tire that's reliable and consistent and drives well out in the desert, but yet when we get to these crazy rock sections, still has grip and performs, and we can hit these sharp, jagged edge rocks and not have a problem, is what we need. And the Rockzillas definitely are second to none when it comes to the UTV tires. And it just speaks traction. It's got big lugs hanging off the side. It's got big lugs down the side of the sidewall of the tire. If you're gonna look for something that makes traction and is gonna grip in rocks and dirt and everything, you look at a Rockzilla and go, man, that thing looks like it's gonna do the job right there.
No matter how hard we tried, we just couldn't get longer life out of our belts.
That's why we were so excited when we found these new Gates Redline belts. They have a super simple 3-step process for breaking in your belt the right way. Clean the sheaves with a Scotch-Brite pad. Remove any old belt residue, glazing, oil, or debris on the clutch sheath area with alcohol or acetone, and make sure the breather tubes are free of any old belt material. Step 2, install your new Gates Redline belt. Step 3, perform 2 10 to 15 minute heat cycles, giving it easy throttle on flat ground. Then, you're going to repeat for the second heat cycle.
The best part, the process is so simple and easy, it really helped us with our competitiveness.
Yep.
All right, and welcome back to Mid-America Outdoors for round 3 of the Side-by-Side Championship Series. We are on Moto 4. It's going to be the 170 Limited 6 through 8 class. You can see they're all lined up, getting ready to take off here momentarily. We have the drones going up in the air. They're already up in the air, as you can see there. But we have lots of cameras out on race course today. Lots of action has been happening out there on course, and we are only on Moto number 4. Scott, we have just 4 more motos to go for the day, I believe, and then we have a couple more than that, but it's been fun already this morning.
Learning a lot. I mean, that's the thing. When Joey and I were talking up here earlier this day, the number of entries broke another record here at Mid-America Outdoors this weekend, and we talk about growing the fan base and bringing more sponsors into this series. But there's more racers coming in, and all the classes.
Exactly.
And I love the fact that there's factory involvement. We brought that up again. And the executives are here keeping score of their drivers.
Right.
That's such a neat thing to see.
There's lots of people here out here recreating this weekend too, because you could come out here and you can purchase, come out here and camp and go on the trail rides.
This is just one of the things that's happening today.
Exactly.
Is the racing. There's so much more going on as well.
It's a Memorial Day weekend event with a little bit of racing going on, and I can't wait till the America Pro Rocket later on, and the Barbie Jeep will be tomorrow. That's probably what I'm looking forward for the most is Barbie Jeep racing. And you can see over on the hills across the way, there are people over there spectating as well. It's super awesome to see. Oh, and look at this. We are getting a personal delivery from the taco truck, and it's churros. Those are not churros. Oh, Chunky Monkey funnel cake fries. I have not tried those.
Have
you tried those?
Just saying it. I never heard
but
of
we
those.
Are getting... We're getting a personal delivery from Chunk. I actually heard all about your cart. Come over here. Come on over here. Come over here. Let's chat with you for a minute. Here, I'm gonna hand it off. Scott's gonna let us talk. Now, sir, I haven't met you.
I'm Randall.
You're Randall?
I am.
I am Pam.
Nice
to meet you. I am excited to try this. So.
Powdered sugar, got your caramel dip on there.
Oh, caramel is my favorite. I'm gonna show you guys at home. Look at what he just brought us.
This is the good stuff. This is what you want right here. Right up there, great big orange truck. You can't miss it.
Oh, and you were up here in our 170s, just took off the line. Are you out here watching the racing yourself as well, or are you just cooking for all of us?
13-year-old out here, he's loving it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm excited to try these for sure. I'm going to have to wait till this race is over, so I'm going to keep it shut, keep them warm. But, wow, well, thank you for coming up here and giving us these. I can't wait to try them.
You guys have fun.
Thank you so much.
Eat up at the Chunky Monkey.
I won't forget to eat over there for sure. Thank you. All right, Scott's going to come back in here, but we do have our first 170s off the line. The 111 of Easton Helms, 47Y of Maggie Flores, 63 of Code St. Peter, 21 Tanner Thompson, 22 of Caden Vanover, number 7 of Jace Buzetsky, 11 of Luke Anderson, 44 of Tucker Berza, 402 of Hudson Wilson, 86 of Harper Willis, 135 of Bentley Fagan, 98 Blaine Singleton, 8 of Slade Dowden, 356 of Camden Ledbetter. And, so we have 14 cars on race course right now, and this is I always say our tiny tots. I would say these are our tiny tots. These are the 6 to 8 year olds.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching the racing, and you can start consuming. But you know what you just did, right?
What?
You just opened the door for every food truck to come barreling up here with food for us.
Hey, I like to eat, so I'm open to it. I mean, they have really good food trucks here. I will not complain about any food, especially the restaurant up front too.
Oh gosh.
But on
Legends,
screen there,
yeah.
I know Legends is amazing. On screen there, they were just going over the race line jump. We already have some of these tinies going through, completing their first lap, and it looks like Code St. Peter, the number 63.
Hey, you got it.
I did. He's in that number 1 position as of right now. Easton Helms in that 2nd position. Slade Dowden 3rd. Tanner Thompson 4th. Tucker Berza 5th. So we have 14 of them is what I said, correct, on the race course right now.
They'll be out there for 5 laps again, and this is on adjusted time. Yes, there was 2 waves or 3 waves? 2 waves, I think it was.
I was preoccupied with some Chunky Monkey fries.
So, but this is on adjusted time. It's not how they are running on the track. So you could be running in 5th place and be first place on the track, but 5th place on timing.
Right.
So
right.
this is all done by time.
It's not physical position.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
timing.
Yeah.
It's adjusted time, not physical.
It's like a mini Baja 1000.
Right. That's a great overview right there. You can almost see the whole entire 170 course with this drone shot right here. The only thing that we're missing, well, actually, we're not missing anything. They have the whole entire 170 course on screen right now.
All there.
You can tell that the water trucks have been keeping it watered down today. It helps when the sun is not out. Like yesterday, the sun came out and dried up the track a lot, and that's another reason why we had so much dust.
When you mix the sun and the wind, it just like,
yep.
you know, like in 2 minutes, it's gone.
Exactly. So Code St. Peter, he has that first lap by 2 seconds. Actually, the first lap was a 1 second mark, but now he is 2 seconds ahead of that second position right now of Easton Helms. There's a little bit of a battle going on right here, right past start finish, where they're going over that smaller tabletop jump. That's right before the Talladega turn that we do bypass for the 170 class.
You know what's really neat about this kind of racing? You call it 170s or trophy carts, or that size of, I mean, basically these are little mini tiny backyard go-karts.
Right.
But think about the future with these kids, the possibility of where they're going with this.
Exactly.
I mean, we look at NASCAR right now. I mean, there's a handful of kids that are in, they're not kids anymore, but in NASCAR.
That started out in the trophy carts.
Started out right here.
Right,
and
exactly.
This is the future. And we got record numbers of entries in the 170s this weekend as well.
Exactly.
Not just the adult classes.
Well, and you know, we always talk about the 170s are the future of the sport. The other thing, too, is they're not racing the full course. So that's another thing that these kids can look up to is they start looking at the full race course, and they want to do the Talladega turn. They want to go over, you know, the rhythm section. So that's another thing, not only building up to the larger race cars, but also doing the larger track because they're looking up to everybody else that's doing it, and they're just waiting their turn and ready to do it. So they're learning as they're watching. But we do still have Mr. Code St. Peter in that number 1 position. And Easton Helms in number 2. Slade Down in 3rd. Tanner Thompson in that 4th position. Tucker Berza in that 5th position. Bentley Fagan in 6th. Camden Ledbetter in 7th. Maggie Flores in 8th. Caden Vanover 9th. Jace Bezeski in that 10th position. They have all completed 3 laps. And there's another great overview of the race course from a different angle. But right there on the middle right-hand side of your screen, you can see that's where they are cutting out Talladega turn. And they keep going straight through there over a bridge. There's a creek crossing right there that they are going over. And they turn left into that 80-foot tabletop jump. As you can see, they do get a little bit of air right there. Such a great learning experience for all of these kids. There's quite the race going on between those 4 cars. And, you know, doing open wheel rep together, now they're kind of separating each other 2 and 2. But they're definitely out there battling it out together. Going over into that 80-foot tabletop jump.
Yeah, on adjusted time right now, our top 5, Code St. Peter, Easton Helms in that 2nd spot, Tanner Thompson, Slade Dowden, and Tucker Berza. In that 5th spot. But how about Slade in that Heisen? Another one of those cars that are out there doing something different than everybody else. So we've got 3 cars across the line. Again, this is on adjusted time, so we won't know who the fast qualifier is until everybody finishes.
And everybody's doing 5 laps, so there's no confusion of how many laps each race is doing. Every single race, every single class is 5 laps today and 5 laps tomorrow.
So as we look at Code St. Peter has the fastest lap of the race by almost a second and a half, but looks like right now he's going to hang on to the top spot overall. Easton Helms, Slade Dowden, Tanner Thompson, and Tucker Berza all in the top 5, as it looks like just about everybody's across the line completing our 170 race.
Looks like we might only have 3 that will still be crossing the line. or possibly not, because all the parents are heading back to their pits. It's a race. It's a race to the spot, but then they all like follow their kids behind back to pits.
One thing
now,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Another thing they have to do whenever they are coming off of race course, every single car has to go through the scales. So that's something that, now they're going up to the scales, and that's where they'll go across and check their weight. And
there's one thing we have never, ever touched on when it comes to these classes, especially the 170s, is the fact that, we got young drivers out there, boys and girls, learning how to race. We've got parents learning how to be a mechanic, how to set up these cars, how to do certain things.
True story. And some of the parents, though, are racers, so that's one thing that they make sure of. I keep smelling these. I'm sorry.
Well,
we need to try them.
You're upwind, so you got a strong sniffer.
Which is a good thing. Sometimes I think.
I mean, they look. I've never heard of what are they called again?
Chunky Monkey. They're Chunky Monkey fries.
No, don't put it next to me.
They look like churro fries. Next up, the race moto number 5 is going to be our 170 stock class. It looks like we're going to have 14 of them out on race course. So how about you run through the...
Well, here's our lineup. We got 14, it looks like. On the front row, the pole position will be Wesleyan Coates in the number 3, Paxton Shamblin in the 37. Pam is mowing down her monkey fries or whatever they're called again.
So good.
Caden Vanover's starting 3rd in the 22. Aiden Ballinger starts 4th in the 2011. Starting 5th, Carolyn Ewing in the 06. Heston Hess starts 6th in the 22. Blaze Medlin starts 7th in the 122. Starting 8th in the 723 is Emily Fowler. Haiti Cowan starts 9th in the 121. And starting 10th, the 09, Carson Summerfield. Alongside of Carson Hill in the 126, starts 11th. Atlee Yoshimoto starts 12th in the 612. Rossi Thomas starts 13th in the 5R. And Ryder Thomas will start 14th in the 6R.
All right.
You gotta love parents that have an imagination or ingenuity when it comes to naming. That's pretty neat.
Okay, so I have to say that those Chunky Monkey fries.
I gotta tell everybody right now.
I had to hand them off.
She's saying that right now. She looked right at me to say, Scott, I gotta tell you, these things are just. All of a sudden, your eyes got really big.
Oh my gosh! I mean, those churros are the best churros I've ever had. I've never had anything like that before.
Oh, we got the green flag is out in the 170 stocks.
We do. Off the line, looks like the number 06. Yes, her brother Tillman was up earlier in that.
Taking off, stock cars, basically right off the. So Bear Medley right there as well. I got to think.
On screen right there, you can see.
If I wanted my dance lessons, I'm more safer than that.
Exactly. I know. You did him to guys and girls out there. I just like as well because.